to come on and join this evening. My name's Sharon. I'm part of the Get Slim in Turkey team. And the reason that you've been invited on this evening is at some point you've obviously made an inquiry with ourselves regarding the gastric sleeve surgery. And we do really appreciate that this is probably going to be one of the biggest decisions that you'll ever make. And we also appreciate that it's probably going to be the most exciting decision that you're going to make as well. What we really want to do is let you see that we're a really professional organisation. We want to reassure you and give you as much information as we can tonight. And really the whole purpose of doing this Zoom call is to help you to make a really informed decision about starting your journey. So what we'll be covering tonight is I'm going to give an introduction to Get Slim in Turkey. And then what I'd like to do is hand over to our guest speaker for this evening, who's Jason, who I'm delighted has offered to come on and share his story with you. After that, what I'll do is I'll be covering suitability for surgery, why people are choosing Get Slim in Turkey, what to expect at the hospital, talk about the packages and prices, and then how to get booked on as well. And whilst we're doing this throughout the evening, if anyone has got any questions as we go along, please do feel free to write your questions in the chat box. And we've got our team on hand who will be more than happy to answer any questions that you have. So just very quickly, I'm going to give you a little overview about Get Slim in Turkey and where it all started, because it's probably a good introduction to let you know about the company, and it's a fantastic story. So the two owners of Get Slim in Turkey are Tracy and Amanda. They both basically had gastric surgery themselves just over 6 years ago, and it completely changed and transformed both of their lives. What happened as a result of that is everyone noticed it. Everyone started, asking them why they got the surgery, where they get the surgery, what research they've done, etc., etc. And what they realised is that there were so many other people who were really looking for the same information and the same experience as what they had. And almost organically, Get Slim in Turkey was really born. We're now, as I say, just over 6 years down the line. And the number of patients that we've now had is over 16,500. So that probably in itself speaks for itself, it speaks volumes. But rather than me sit here and tell you how good Get Slim in Turkey is, I think the best way to do that is to actually, as I said earlier, I'm going to introduce Jason. And I think it would be a great way to start off the call is by letting him tell his story, share his journey. If anybody, as I say, has got any questions as we go along, please do feel free to ask in the chat box and we will answer those questions for you. And what I'm going to do, I can see you've unmuted yourself, Jason. Thank you very much for coming on tonight. We really appreciate it, as I say, and I spoke with you for the first time very briefly on Friday, just to introduce myself, and you shared some of your story with me, which I know for a fact that everyone who's on here this evening who's possibly thinking about having surgery, you've been there, you'll understand the sort of thoughts that will be going through their head, and I know that everything that you're going to say tonight will completely put their mind at rest. But without further ado, what I'd like to do, if it's okay, is hand over to you for say 10-15 minutes and just let you share your story. Is that all right?
Perfect, yeah, no problem at all.
Fantastic, thank you, on you go.
So hi all, my name is Jason and I had surgery on the 15th of February 2021. The reason I had surgery realistically boils down to I was having a conversation with my parents about funerals. My parents were planning their funeral, and of course the thoughts came across, well, what's going to happen with me? And the reason that thought came across to me was my weight at the time when I had surgery was 31 stone 1. And I kind of thought about it and went, who is in God's name is going to be able to lift a coffin that's weighing that kind of weight? Like, just to give you an idea of kind of how big I was, I had a 19-inch neck. My chest, across my chest, across the bra line, across my nipples, that area was about 60 inches. My belly was a circumference of 67 inches and a 55-inch waist. So I had my legs, my left and right thigh were 31, 32 inches. My arms, my biceps were 15 and 16 inches in circumference, so they were. So I was big. So we had a big conversation at home, and I left it kind of very, very worried about what I was going to do and all that. And a friend of mine was looking into it, and I decided I'd start looking into it as well. And I made some friends on Instagram, and a couple of my friends, these friends had being with Get Slim. So I contacted Get Slim. And I did a bit of research myself, and I was listening to other people's testimonials and getting all their information together. And I decided it was what I wanted to do. So I had a chat with my parents. So I sat them down and I told them what I wanted to do. And I explained the whole thing to them because I had got all the information I wanted off some of the people I'd spoken to. The staff in Get Slim were very forthright and very honest with me about everything. And I found that it was brilliant. So I made the decision. And when I made the decision, I wanted to do it more or less there and then. So what I did was I literally contacted Get Slim, I think either a Friday or a Saturday. I asked them how soon they could actually book me in. And the answer was, well, we can fly out here next weekend. And this was in the middle of COVID, so it was, end of COVID nearly. So they basically said to me, if you're definitely on about doing it, we can fly out next weekend. So they did. So I sent them over all my documentation that they needed, the deposit, the usual kind of thing. And I flew out on Sunday, 14th of February, Valentine's Day. So I did. I couldn't actually get over how efficient it was. For me, it was really, really efficient. Everything was kind of just through Instagram. Everything was stopped. Everything was just so easy to do. So it was, and everything just kind of flowed so easily. I was able to talk to people there more or less day or night. There was always someone there to answer my calls. And to me, that was just fantastic because for the simple reason was if I had a question, they'd answer it for me. So I flew Dublin to Istanbul to Izmir because I was flying in the off season. And the instructions, all my details were all given to me, and the instructions were fantastic. So I was told when I came out of the airport, I was to turn left, walk down the road, I think 50 or 100 meters, stay on the left-hand side, and there'd be someone there to meet me. Out I came, turned left, walked down the road 50 to 100 meters, and there was a taxi, a minibus, black minibus directly across the road. And this gentleman walked across, and he asked me who was I, and I told him my name. And he goes, "Yes, you're coming with me." And he brought me in quite a cool minibus down to down to Kusadasi. And he brought me literally to the hospital door. Brought me in, introduced me to, for the life of me, I can't remember the girl's name, but there was a girl there, an Irish girl. I think she was either from Cork or Monaghan. There was two Irish girls, one from Cork, one from Monaghan, and then there was a Dutch girl that was there as well. And they're the three girls I dealt with, say, throughout the whole week, 5 days I was there. But I was brought upstairs. I arrived very, very late / early in the morning. I think I arrived at 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, and was brought upstairs, was checked in, made sure I was happy and everything was okay. The room was, I'm still convinced it's a hotel suite I was staying in. That is the truth. Like, anyone who's, if you find anybody out there who has a video of it, I made the mistake of not taking a video of my room, and I'm still sorry I didn't actually do it. But it's like walking into a hotel suite. So you walk in through a door, in my room anyway, the bathroom was massive on the left-hand side. There was a wardrobe to the right-hand side. You went through again. There was a two-seater couch in the corner, my locker, my bed, another locker, TV on the wall, balcony type thing that looked out over to the sea. I have no idea what sea it was. It was a quite good view, so it was. And I was so happy with it. And the staff made sure I was checked in and everything was grand. They said you can go to sleep for a couple of hours and we'll bring you down then to start tests. This is where it kind of blew my mind, because for the simple reason is they came into me, woke me up, brought me downstairs. The details I'm going to give you are not 100% accurate in the sense of I can't remember the layout of the hospital, but it was like a corridor, and you went into a door on the right hand side, and you met one doctor or a nurse, and you got bloods taken, or I got some kind of test done. Literally came out, went across, sat in another desk or sat in another chair outside another room, waited a few minutes, went in to see another person, came out of there, went down and sat somewhere else. So it is. I think maybe I'm guessing 6 different doctors, all in the space of, I'm going to say an hour. All right. Now it might be 2 hours, but I felt like an hour, and it felt like I was literally going from one corridor to another, around a bend. And I know there was another doctor over there that I did some breathing test with. There was a dietitian. There was a CT scan or some kind of a round joke you go into. I'm not too sure what it's called. I'm not very medically trained here, so I'm not. But everything was literally step by step. And for me, I just couldn't get over it. And it was just so friendly. The girls were there, the 2 Irish girls and the Dutch girl were always there. Everyone was always there, literally told you, this is what we're going to do next. This is what's happening next. You're going in here now, you want to wait out here, you're going to this room and you're going to have this test done. So it is. Nothing was ever an issue, not to me anyway. And that's what I loved about it. So for me, the whole thing when I got there was brilliant. Brought back upstairs after having all these tests done, was told to go back to bed for a few hours. I'd say I wasn't in bed an hour. And they came and they said, Jason, you're getting ready to go down. You're first down for surgery. I was blessed. So I was first up. They gave me the gown, and anyone who was big, and I said, no, I was a big man. I can remember trying to putting the gown on and kind of looking behind me going, this is not going to fit. Like, your backside was still kind of hanging out, so it was. So there was a bit of a laugh and a joke, and we had a bit of fun about that. So it was, and they were so nice to me about it. And the trolley came in. And one of the coolest things, I said to someone actually only last week or so, I said, one of the coolest things I've ever seen was they actually brought us steps. Now, this might not mean a whole lot to anybody, but for me, trying to get my size and my weight up onto a bed was quite daunting. But they actually brought little steps for me. I'm sure it's a wooden steps, I can't remember. But I mean, like, that alone to me just showed the care that these people they understood. They understood it from my point of view. Now, I was 31 stone weight. Like, if anyone wants to work, I have it wrote down here. If anyone wants to work in pounds, I was 435 pounds weight, or I was 197 kilos. For anyone who wants to work in kilos, that's the weight we're talking about. Like, and they were able to literally make me feel comfortable. So it was. Even going down to surgery, going down for the endoscopy, is that right? Endoscopy thing, that thing on your throat. That, like, it was everything. The doctor, I'll never forget the doctor. I don't know what the doctor's name was for that even. The laughs and jokes out of him. Like you lay on your side and he was laughing and joking with you. The nurses were laughing and joking. It was just banter. And I'm the kind of person, I like that. I feel more relaxed when someone is when they seem relaxed, I feel relaxed. It's well, they obviously know what they're doing. They're laughing and joking here, and it's a bit of fun. So that was when I went to sleep, and I woke up in recovery. So I was blessed to say it was the first person in, and it was literally that I was woke up in recovery. Remember waking up in recovery, talking, fell back asleep, woke up in my bed. So I did. And there was no pain, a little small bit of pain. For me, nothing that I didn't have to take anything extra. It was grand. Getting up out of bed, I remember it was actually more myself, putting myself under pressure. You're trying to tense your stomach. You don't want to, I'm afraid I'm going to do something. And I was up and was walking the corridors, up and down the corridors, was going visiting other patients that I'd met and people that I still have contact with, like 2 years on, and I still have friends who we snap each other and we tell them each other how we're getting on and stuff like that. So yeah. So later on that evening, Dr. Fittrick, if name is wrong, I know.
Dr. Fittrick, that's right. Yeah,
that's him. He's so funny. He absolutely cracked. I think he cracks everybody up. He has this extraordinary personality, this bubbly personality that absolutely just, he walks into the room and, you know what, I'd say he just brightens the place up, so he does. And he's just so caring. Like he'll hold your hand. He looks at you when he's talking to you. He actually is interested in you. And that's how it felt to me. Like, and like I've heard all the girls saying, oh, he smells so nice and all that. Like, yes, he actually does wear very nice aftershave, I will admit, like, so he does. But his personality and his demeanor is just amazing. Like the minute he walks in, the first thing he said to me was, "Good morning, Jason. How are you?" Like, that's just the kind of person he is, like, as if he knew me. And he just puts you at ease and he talks to you all about your surgery and he basically tells you what they did. And because I think he said to show me everything that they were able to do and everything that they'd done for me, and what he'd give me his advice then, what was to do then for the next, as I go forward. And he recognized I'm going to be really big success and so on and so forth. And I own my life. Like, I'm not going to lie. Like he means something special to me because of what he did. There's no point saying that he doesn't. He actually does. He gave me a life that I had forgotten what life was about. I was hiding. I had a beard. I won't ever see my before and after photographs. I had a beard, a big bushy beard, and that was a disguise, like, so it was. And he gave me the confidence, and I'll tell you what I weigh now once one in a minute, like, but it was thanks to the likes of him. The staff in the hospital, the nurses in the hospital were absolutely amazing. I had blood to take because I was diabetic. I had cholesterol, high cholesterol. I had type 2 diabetes, and I was on antidepressants. So I was on 4 different types of tablets. I've forgotten the amount of tablets, but I found 4 different types. And thanks to him, I'm actually on no tablets whatsoever. None. My blood pressure is perfect. My cholesterol is bang on the mark. Blood pressure has been 100%. Everything. Depression is gone, the whole lot. And I've never been happier as I have been in the last like 2 years since I had my surgery. It has led me now to where I am able to go shopping in likes of Pennies, Primark, depending on where you're watching this from. Primark, Pennies. I can walk in and just pick up something off the shelf. To give you a comparison of what I'm talking about, my shirt, anyone who sees it before and after me, there's usually a white shirt or a pink shirt. That pink shirt is 8XL. I now wear a large to an extra large in a shirt. So I do. My trousers was a 52 or 54 inch waist trousers. I now wear a 30-inch jeans out of Pennies or Primark, so I do. They're the kind of comparisons in 2 years. Like, I have lost, as of yesterday, no one knows this. As of yesterday, I have lost 15 stone 6.
Wow.
In 2 years. I have 1.5 pounds to go till I am actually half the person I was when I had surgery. 1.5 pounds, and I would be half the person I was. So I actually now weigh 98 kilos or 216 pounds. So I do. So I am actually almost half the person I was, and that was done in 2 years. So to me, I am absolutely blown away. It's amazing. I actually cannot explain without getting emotional how happy I am. I can still go out. I still eat. I had I had Chinese last night. I can still go out for a breakfast with the lads in work. I can still go out for lunch. We all did the food funerals. Anyone who's ever thinking about this, you're going to have all your friends tell you about the food funerals. The food funerals, especially where you think you're never going to eat again. Oh my God, that we're going to have to eat Chinese. We're going to have to eat Indians and takeaways and chippies and McDonald's. And the funny thing about it is, I did it. I actually ate more burgers and chips and curry sauce than you can actually imagine in the last week or two. But the funny thing about it is, I can still have a burger. I can still have my curry chips, my Chinese, my Indians. The difference is I'm no longer eating the portions I was eating. But here's the thing about it is, I'm actually able to go and have a meal with my family, with my kids, with my partner, and I can go out and I can have a meal and I can walk. Yes, it might be a lot smaller in portions, but I'm walking out of that restaurant satisfied. I'm not hungry. I'm not on a diet. That's the difference. I'm not on a diet. When I was on a diet, and I always tell people this, is like throwing a rock into the Grand Canyon, throwing salad or throwing a small meal into me, because I was big, throwing a small meal into me, a kid's meal or anything like that, it was like hollow. There was nothing. There was no substance in it at all. And I was starving 5 minutes later and I wanted something else. And for me, it was biscuits. It was food. I was very much a savory person, but I would eat a packet of biscuits there at night time, no problem at all. Now I can go out, I can eat my meal, like I can have a steak dinner. Now I will admit it's half a steak. I can't eat the whole steak, but I can eat half a steak. But when I can walk out of that restaurant and I am fully full, so happy, don't feel like I'm missing out, that's success. For me, that's success. So I don't miss out. I can sit down, I can have my bottle of water, I just drink my water. So I even have a bit of chocolate here for later on. So I'm still living my life. I haven't missed out. I still can go out for my meals. I can still enjoy every part of being a healthy human being. I'm not obese. I'm not actually severely obese, what I was classified as. So now I can actually enjoy my life. And the choices I make now are mostly, I look at what I can have and what I can is nice and high in protein, because that's where I look at. It's always a protein type thing. So I'm looking at the likes of chicken, cheese, them kind of things I love anyway, but now I can have them. So I tracked my weight loss on an app, and I found the app today and I looked it up. My average weight loss since surgery is 1.95 pounds per week. So just shy of 2 pounds a week. Like, now I've tried loads of other slimming clubs and slimming things, and you know what? I lost the weight. I remember going in 2013 or 14 and went from 24 stone down to 18. I lost 6 stone, and then I went from 18 to 30, 31. So I did over about 6 or 8 years. Like, so they're the kind of things that is with me. My BMI, which I don't know much about, but my BMI has gone from 67.7 down to 30.5. Wow. So I've had my BMI, so I have. Like, so
amazing.
It is like I've found a new confidence in myself. I'm now looking for the next chapter. I'm going for walks on the beach that I've never done in my life. I'm looking to go to actually go walk. I'm not looking to go, well, how close can I get the car to that place? I'm now looking going, we'll park here and we'll walk. And this is the lease of life that it has given me. My kids think it's amazing. Like, my daughter Mia does be there, and she does be absolutely like, we're going off for walks, we go off and buy clothes, stuff like that. Like, my whole family has seen a massive change in me, and it's all for the better. I don't believe I would be here now if it hadn't been for Get Slim and all that. Like, and I can only personally thank them. Like, that's all I can say. Like,
Lovely.
I don't know what else to tell you. If you want to ask me anything, ask, but I don't know what else to tell you, like, but.
Listen, Jason, you've done absolutely amazing. You've been so articulate and you've been into every small detail, which I think when someone is possibly on the fence, I'm sure you've answered so many questions for people. But one of the things that a lot of people who are about to start their journey say to us is, you know, I'm going to be coming over to Turkey on my own. I'm going to be traveling my own. What advice would you give to them?
When there's always WhatsApp groups set up. I've seen it on so many of the pages. Is anyone traveling in May and anyone traveling in different months, but there's nothing to worry about. Like, loads of my friends have actually traveled over. Loads of people I've met have traveled over on their own, and everyone says the same thing. They are so well cared for. You do meet other people, and you do end up talking to other people, because you know what? There's more than you just going over there. Genuinely, like, there's more, whether you're coming from England or Ireland or elsewhere. I can guarantee you there's somebody else on that plane in the same mind position as you, and that all you have to do is just trust the whole thing. From my point of view, just sit back, trust them, walk out that airport door, and it's you're either going to be told to go straight across or you're going to be told to go left. And there's going to be more than you going, and you will find people with like-minded people who are in the same boat, with the same fears as you, and you all go together. Like I said, we were all coming back. There was a gang of us sitting at the airport at the gate. Like, so there was, like, we were all laughing, joking, and swapping stories, and who did you have, and that, like, you know, where did you go, and what did you do, and so on and so forth. Like, we stayed in a hotel. Actually, I never told them actually this. We left the hospital on Thursday. We didn't fly home till Friday, and we went and stayed in a hotel just a couple of minutes away. Like, we had a beautiful hotel, up some steps, lovely hotel, seafront. And we sure Thursday evening we were out on the seafront looking up at the big sign over Kusadasi. So we had photographs taken of that and everything. Like, we were perfect. Like, there was loads of us around. Like, so it is. Like, you know, the whole thing about it is that there is going to be other people heading out with you that are going to feel the very, very same way. There is WhatsApp groups out there. I've seen loads of them, and there's always someone who'll say, "Is there I've seen it on the different Facebook pages and Instagram pages, and people say, "Oh, is there a WhatsApp group for May or for April or wherever it may be?" And ask the girls or the lads to add you into it, because no matter what day, flight or date you're heading out, I can guarantee there's somebody heading out with you.
Absolutely, and we can actually do that. We can introduce people prior to coming over, and it's a really good point, Jason. I'm just mindful of time. I could let you talk for another 2 hours, actually. It's been a really, really amazing story, a great journey, and I think you've described your whole experience really well. It's great to see you looking so well. The fact that you've lost almost half your weight is unbelievable. And you told me on Friday, you touched on it there, but you had type 2 diabetes, that's completely disappeared. And these are the types of stories that we hear from our patients. It's just a complete transformation.
Well, I was in with the doctor in January or February, and I've got a complete clean bill of health. They are, look, my doctor backed me 100%. Oh, and that's another thing. When I came back from the hospital with all my documentation from Get Slim, I handed it in to my doctor. I went back for my checkup a month later to get my bloods taken, and my doctor did comment to me how detailed my notes were. That she actually set up the night before and read over my notes, and she was blown away. And I know of three other people have all said the very, very same thing, that the doctor was blown away by the detailed notes that they were sent back with us. Like,
and it's great to hear you saying that, because a lot of people, after their experience, exactly what you said, Jason, you know, it's so professional, so thorough, and way more thorough than what you could potentially expect to receive in the UK. So it's great to hear that from you, because that's what all the feedback generally is. But I'm so sorry, we're running out of time here. And I just want to say thank you so much, because we've got just about 6 minutes left, and I'd like to sort of go through some other details, if that's all right.
No problem at all.
But thank you so much. It's been a great story, and we really appreciate it. So thank you so much for coming on this evening.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye. So I'm sure you'll agree, you know, hearing Jason's story is very, very inspirational. And what I'd like to do is, we've got roughly 6 minutes left, which is enough time for me to just go through some other information with you. But please, if you've got any questions, the team are on here just now. Just feel you can ask away in the chat box, and they'll be able to ask questions for you as well. So if you're sitting thinking, well, am I actually suitable for surgery? What to do, I would recommend, is get in touch with our team, the person that introduced you onto the call. But the type of information that we'd be looking for is to check your BMI. So we can do that through your height and weight. And we'll just be asking you what medications you're taking. Do you have any illnesses or allergies? Have you had any previous surgeries, and your age? And from that information, we'll be able to tell you very quickly if you are actually suitable for surgery. So again, if you're not sure, please do ask our team, and they'll be able to give you that information. I usually go through quite a wee bit of time explaining some of the reasons why people would want to choose Get Slim in Turkey. I think Jason has explained that all for us. But just to sort of touch on some of the main points, is, first of all, I mentioned it earlier, we've been established for over 6 years, so it really gives you experience and peace of mind. The fact that we've also had 16,500 patients, I think it's important to mention that the majority of those patients actually have come back to us through referrals. So when people like Jason have had such a good experience, they will refer their family and friends. And again, that should sort of speak volumes about the type of service and the calibre of the professionalism that we provide to all of our patients. It's important for you to know, when doing your research and making your decision, we are accredited, we're monitored, and it's obviously very strict and very stringent here in Turkey, and we meet all of that criteria. Jason touched on the fact that we've got 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, English-speaking carers, and they are with you the whole time, not only just to sort of give you support, but to give you emotional support, to hold your hand, to accompany during your consultations. They're there for your nightly observations, your medical checks, they're there for everything. So if you are thinking, I'm coming alone, you're probably thinking the same as so many other people, but the experience that you will have, we can assure you that you'll be meeting other like-minded people and feel very well looked after. We've also got a dedicated aftercare team who speak English and give you all the support. And Jason touched on the Facebook group. If you're not currently on the Facebook group, where we have over 15,000 people there, ask the person that introduced you tonight, because it is a private group, but it means that you can actually hear from people like Jason, people who have had surgery, etc., share stories. But I'm very, very mindful of time just now. What I would like to talk about is, at the hospital, you can expect to have your blood tests, urine tests, x-rays, ultrasound, ECG, respiratory function test, and your endoscopy, which you'll be asleep for. The consultations that you'll have are with the anaesthetist, the cardiologist, chest specialist, internal medicine consultant, psychiatrist, and your bariatric surgeon. So very, very, very thorough. And there's no specialist diet required before you come for surgery. So, for example, for people with inflated livers, we can operate without any problem. For people who have got fatty livers, etc., the equipment that the surgeons use, because they're doing this surgery day in, day out, we can do that for you, no problem. To touch on the packages that we have, and I know that the team have been putting them in the chat box there, but our packages include everything that Jason described to you and what I've just described there to you as well. So it's all your pre-op tests, your surgery, your transfers to and from the airport, your one-night complimentary stay in the hotel, and your aftercare team, etc. So we've got 3 different packages to keep it simple. We've got the classic package, all-inclusive, and we've got a premium package as well. The only difference between them is whether you book your own flight or we do it for you. So the classic package is £2,900 or €3,400. That's the package where you would book your own flight, and the deposits to start the ball rolling and confirm your surgery is just £300. The all-inclusive is where we do everything, include your flights for you. Spaces are limited, but the price is £3,099 or €3,600, and the deposit to start the ball rolling and get your surgery booked in for that is simply £400. The balance is paid when you come over to Turkey. The airports that we use are Stansted, Manchester and Dublin. And for anyone that's wanting the premium package, where you get that sort of VIP experience, the team can give you more information, but the price for that is €3,650 or €4,300. So what I would suggest is that the next steps, if you've been watching this tonight and you've been on the fence, but you're thinking, I really do want to take it to the next stage, I would recommend getting in contact with your colleagues, message them tonight to let them know that you want to speak with them tomorrow. And what I would recommend is that you look at the dates, have your dates ready, know the package that you'd like to sort of come on board with, and get yourself booked in. As I say, it's only deposit is required to start the ball rolling. The balance is paid when you actually come over to Turkey. The other thing that I would recommend is after this call, please go into the Apple App Store or Google Play Store and download the Get Slim in Turkey app. It means you'll have all the information about gastric sleeve surgery. It gives you all our before and after pictures, gives you all their contact details. Everything that you need is actually on the app as well. I'm mindful that we've just got less than a minute to go, so I hope tonight has been very helpful for you. I hope you've managed to have your questions answered. If you haven't, and if you've not been able to write it in the chat box yet, please do speak with our team tomorrow. They'll be happy to answer all your questions and give you the dates that we have available for surgery and look to get you booked in. So thank you very much for your time this evening. And if there's any time left, if you've got any last minute questions, please feel free to put them in the box. And thank you very much for coming on this evening. Much appreciated. Bye-bye.